Is it, really peaceful? Is there gangs out there? I mean, I know there's, bad stuff everywhere, but how's Canada, man? Is it ghetto like LA is and stuff like that?
Well, it really depends where you go, right? Like, for instance, I'm in a small town of like 4,000 people. I can walk out my door. Like, for instance, let me tell you about the bad stuff. So when I was in Brockville, all right? Brockville's a city, a small city of 25,000 people, right? There was, and I don't mean to say this about my hometown. This is my hometown, and I'm ashamed of it. But I will still always say I'm from Brockville because you got to rep where you're home.
Yeah.
There's crackheads everywhere. There's heroin needles on the ground.
Wow.
It's just alcoholics, crackheads everywhere. People begging for money on the street. That's how Brockville is, unfortunately. But when I got married, me and my wife were trying to have kids, and I don't want to raise my kids around that. So I moved to about 20 minutes away, mind you. So 20-minute drive to a small town called Prescott, full of maybe 4,000 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dinky little town. Everything is all crammed together. And when I walk out my door, instead of being greeted by crackheads, I get greeted by people saying, "Hello, how are you doing?" While they're walking their little poodle and shit. You know what I mean? It really depends where you go. I've been to the States in New York State, so I've been to Ogdensburg to go shopping with my wife and whatnot. I would say the only thing that's really truly different about, I would say about government stuff, kind of what. Obviously, here in Canada, we go by kilometers rather than miles per hour, so the signs will be a little bit different. And we go by Celsius here. So right now, I would tell you, it's about 5 degrees outside, and you'd be like, Jesus Christ, why are you not getting an icicle on the phone right now?
Yeah.
But that's how Canada is. So we go from Celsius to Fahrenheit. It's really hard to explain. If you go to the big cities like Ottawa, Toronto, you'll hear about stabbings, shootings, gangs all over it. It really depends on where you go. So it's like the States, right? If you go to a little 300 people town in Kansas, it's going to be all friendly like Prescott. But if you go to New York City, you're going to be like, did you hear about that guy that got gutted like a fish last night?
Yeah.
That's kind of like a Winnipeg. For instance, Winnipeg, some guy unfortunately was walking on the street, and this a man and woman hacked him up with a machete. You know what I mean? It really just depends where you go.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to be truthful. If I drove through Winnipeg, I'm not going to lie to you. I would lock my damn doors like a scared little white boy and just keep driving. Be like, I need to go to the bathroom. Don't care. Here's a bottle. You know what I mean? Not happening.
Shit, man. I always had a different picture of Canada for some reason, man. But damn, that's crazy to hear. But I guess we do
have some wonderful, beautiful scenery, though, man. We do have some great scenery. I wouldn't say the whole country's not bad. You know what I mean? We do have some very nice stuff. A lot of people will tell you we live in igloos and we have sled dogs and shit. No, man. We have somewhere. If you look at New York City, if you turn to one of the New York City stations, and you go, okay, so right now it's raining. That's pretty much what we have here. It's pretty much, it's summertime, people are going to the beach getting sunburned like a lobster. That's just like here. The only place where it's winter all the time, I believe, is Nineveh, and I think even then they get a spring and summer.
Oh, okay. So, well, I guess that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, I guess, man. Yeah, it's different. A lot of people don't really know. Truthfully, a lot of people don't really know much about Canada, and they just assume stuff, which is cool because even though we're neighbors, it's if we were in the Arctic, you guys would be in the Arctic. So it's but it's cool though. I get a lot of them questions, and I don't mind answering it. It's not every day. Not a lot of people from Canada are really in the music thing. Truthfully, doing what they do. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you too. I mean, because I know Drake is from Canada, and he makes it seem like it's the craziest. Where he's from. I don't know where he's from exactly, but he makes it seem like it's crazy as hell. So I always wanted to ask somebody from Canada, is it true what he's saying, or is he just making stuff up or whatnot? But I guess it is true.
Well, it's mostly because he's from Toronto, right? Toronto is a very big city. They call Toronto the New York of Canada.
Okay.
It's huge. We have this thing called the GTA in Toronto. So they have Manhattan, Queens. Well, in Toronto, it's they have Hamilton. I've never actually been to Toronto, so I'm trying to just use my trying to bring geography class back. But they have Hamilton. They got Scarborough, Cambridge. Those are like the little cities that surround Toronto. It's called like the GTA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a really big city. I normally, I look at it as, to summarize the question, even though I've been going on for 5 minutes. It's mainly just depends where you go, right? You'll get violence everywhere you go. But normally the big cities is where you'll actually see some like crazy American kind of shit.
Some crazy American shit. some Compton stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I grew up in LA, so I feel you. But so, this is a question that I wanted to ask you too, man. You know, there's a lot of, I'm pretty sure you know, because you're a Pac fan. There's a lot of different theories out there. Some people think this person killed him. Some people think the aliens did it. Some people think this. Some people think that, and then some people think he's still alive. What is your perception? What do you think happened to Tupac, and who do you think did it? If you believe he's dead.
I'm going to be truthful, and I know this might go against a lot of your content on your channel, which I'd say, man, you know what? That's cool, man. Everybody has their own opinions on stuff. I do believe Tupac is passed away. Unfortunately, I believe, in my eyes, I think, and people might disagree with me. This is my eyes. I look at it as, you know, Pac was a very loyal individual. I'm going to start off with that. So, mind you, if he was part of something, he will most definitely be down with you 120%.
Yeah.
So the night of the MGM Grand, I honestly feel that when he walked up and punched Orlando, he literally punched himself to death, literally. I feel after he punched Orlando because of that chain incident, I physically feel when they left the MGM Grand, he went back to the hotel and then left for Club 662. I feel that even though it's 96, they didn't have cell phones, but you can't tell me you can't call your boy's pager and be like, call me and be like, look, that fucking Pac just banged me out, kill him. Like, it's Orlando Anderson, man. It's a Southside Crip.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, those guys, man, if you look at them the wrong way, they'll shoot you in the face.
Oh, yeah.
If you punch him, imagine what he's going to do. He's not going to come back and punch you back. He's going to shoot you. Yeah. A lot of people say it was Suge. I look at it as, you know what? Yeah, Suge got grazed in the head. I don't think it was Suge. No. I really don't, because look at it this way. People used to get beat up in death row studios like no tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, you stole like $1 off me? I'm going to beat you up in a back room. Suge Knight was alone with Pac 24/7. He bailed him out of jail, which means if anybody's been to jail, they will know that you have an assurity. And if you're out on $1.5 million bail, a 1.4 story, he most definitely is going to be a chaperone 24/7. So you had many chances to kill Tupac. Many chances. You could have shot him dead in your studio and have a bunch of blood clean it up. I think he actually wanted Pac to stay. That's why he made Death Row East. I feel, you know what I mean, he wouldn't do the whole Death Row East thing and then have Pac killed in Vegas. I physically think Pac was young, unfortunately made a really terrible mistake that cost him his life. I wish that...
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if it was Suge, why would he be sitting right next to him when he's 2 times his size, right? You know, why would he tell somebody, hey, I'm going to sit right next to him and come shoot him? You know, I would think Suge would be smarter than that, you know? Just like you said, he knew where Pac was 24/7. He had his guards on them. I mean, I don't know if you heard the story, but he was gonna drown there was I think they were in Maui or Cabo or something like that. But Pac was actually going to drown, and Suge jumped in and saved him because I guess Pac wasn't that good of a swimmer, you know.
Yeah, that was when they were parasailing with Snoop Dogg and Suge.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, there was a lot of places, like you said. I mean, he could have killed him anywhere. So why in the car?
Like, for instance, even look how Suge Knight's in jail in prison right now. At this point, I don't think Suge had as much money as he had back on the death row days. He killed a guy pretty much outside the set in broad daylight at the Straight Outta Compton set. Killed a guy because he didn't like how they were portraying him in the movie. You know what I mean? And he didn't give a fuck. He just ran him over and killed him. Yeah. You know, and then he goes to court and says, I didn't do it. And it's like, you're on video. I didn't do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I look at it as, think about how much money he had back then. He would do it himself. I physically don't think. I think, like I said, I think it was Orlando. It pains me to hear it because, you know, people are dumb. People are young, dumb. They make bad decisions. But unfortunately, it cost a legend his life. And I look at it as, but I still do think he is alive, though, but in one way. And I don't mean physically alive in, you know, wherever they say he is, Malaysia or Cuba, all these other places they said. I physically feel that whenever you put in that music, Pac comes back alive. I feel that in his music, there is still music that is irrelevant today. I know I'm a little late, about 4 or 5 years in this, but with Barack Obama, you know, he was saying in the song Changes, we ain't ready to see a black president. And you know what I mean? Yeah. Years later, that song was still irrelevant. So I feel when you put in a Pac CD, after I get off this interview, I can go put in All Eyes on Me. I can go put in Are You Still Down? I can put in his very first album, Trapped. You know, cops are still beating up minorities, killing them in their houses. That song, when you play it, that's from 1991. All right, that was Pac's, like, literally one of his first music videos to ever come on MTV. Yeah. But that song is still relevant today. So I feel that with his music, he is still alive in the legacy of his music. As long as we, as fans, keep making sure Tupac's legacy stays alive. And I mean, every little thing, you know, for instance, interviewing people that work with Pac, hearing their story, listening to Tupac's music, showing our children that, hey, this is a Pac, this is what I grew up listening to. This man died for literally doing what he thought was right. Just like that, it helps keep Tupac alive. But physically, unfortunately, I feel he's passed away, and it pains me to say it because that's my idol. You know, I got Tupac tattooed on my chest. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd be alive today. But you know, I wish I could thank the man. But what I'm going to do, my way of thanking him, because he ain't here for me to do it, is interview people that knew him, people that have stories like Mopreme, Ra, Kendrick Hussein, which I've already interviewed. People I'm naming, I've already interviewed. Rappin' Forte, you know, people that he rolled with, Money B. I look at that as my way of saying thank you. I'm helping keeping his legacy alive, and that's what I want to do every single day.
Yeah, oh man, that's definitely real special. And you know, that's what this channel is all about. You know, basically keeping him alive. And I've had people on here that most of the people that I've interviewed don't believe that Tupac is alive. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Wright Jr. You know, he's come on, interviewed plenty of times on my channel and said I'm crazy, or we're crazy for believing that. You know what I'm saying? I've interviewed Kathy Scott, said the same thing. I've interviewed Greg Kading, you know, which was the one in charge of the case that got Keefe D to talk. You know, he obviously doesn't believe he's alive. And I mean, my thing is, my channel is basically about talking about Tupac, and not only Tupac, man, music in general, you know, but you know, mainly about Tupac. And you know, my opinion is that it's kind of fishy, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know. And just like I tell everybody on my channel, when I first started, you know, listening to Tupac way back, you know, because I grew up in Southgate, which is right next to Compton, Watts, Linwood, and Cudahy, Bell. So when Tupac got shot, you know, and we heard that he passed away, I believed he died, and I believed he died until just about 2 years ago, or like about a year ago. You know, I always believed Tupac had passed away. You know what I'm saying?
But the one thing I do want to say, though, I used to think the same thing as you personally. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry about that. But I look at it as everybody knows. Remember how Pac was one of those people. I don't know if you know this. Obviously, you're a Pac fan, so you will know this. For the song "Brenda's Got a Baby," that song was actually from a newspaper article that he got in the newspaper. Every time he'd read it, every week it would just die down till it was nothing. He was very big on political. He was very big on stories about minorities, so black people getting shot. You know, I feel throughout the years, I don't think he'd be able to keep quiet, man. Like, if he was alive and he was hiding in, like, Nigeria, or people say Malaysia, other people say Mexico, like, all these places, you can't tell me he wouldn't speak up and be like, look, fuck this shit, yo. Fuck this, yo, I'm back. Tupac, MAKAVELI, the motherfucking Don, I'm back. I feel that, man, he would not be able to keep quiet this long. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, this Amber Geiger shit. You know what I mean? I hope she rots in that cell. Walks in a minority's home, shoots a black man dead. Yo, if Pac was alive, you already know he'd make an album dissing that bitch.
Yes.
You know, I feel in my deep down, I think And I don't want to diss your channel or anything. I just want to be truthful. A lot of people make these conspiracy things, in my eyes, just to help keep them alive. And you know what? It works, man. It really does help keep Pac alive. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. I could just be wrong, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, I wish he was still alive. I really do, but I don't think he is, man. Just being able to it's really hard to talk about it, right? Because it's just I feel that he's gone just because he wouldn't be able to keep quiet this long, man.
That's exactly. I mean, hey,
like look at it this way: Osama bin Laden, look at I think it was Saddam Hussein. I don't mean to compare Tupac with that monster, but you know, it's almost like that. Saddam Hussein dug a hole in the desert, and he still got found. You know what I mean? Yeah. He still got found.
But I mean, a lot of people think he's in Cuba. You know, Cuba ain't got no extradition law, so even if they knew where he was, that's why people think, you know, he's alive, because his godmother is in Cuba. She's done interviews with NBC, and you know, and they still can't bring her over here. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
And she killed a police officer, and she escaped out of prison. She killed the cop. Well, I'm sorry, she allegedly killed the cop. She's saying that she didn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I wasn't there. You know, so I'm not gonna say she did, but. Allegedly, what they charged her with is murder of a police officer. She went to prison. She escaped prison. She's in Cuba. Right now, she's in Cuba. Everybody knows where she is. The American government knows where she is. She's done televised interviews with NBC walking around Cuba, and they can't bring her over here. Even Trump has gone on the podium and said, I'm going to try to get, he said her real name, and I'm sorry if I can't remember her real name right now, but he said her real name because Asada Shakur, I think, is her name. I guess that that she got, you know, from being in the political parties and stuff like that, and the Black Panthers and things like that, or the African, I forgot the name of it, but yeah, you know, that's why people, you know, think that, because she's being in Cuba, man. She's doing interviews. Everybody knows where she's at. She murdered a police officer allegedly. She escaped prison, and I think escaping prison, I'm not 100% sure, but I think she might have hurt people escaping prison too, and they can't bring her over here. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is possible, and I get what you're saying, man, because, hey, I'm telling you, all these years, bro, I always believed Pac had passed away. I said Orlando Anderson killed him. He socked the wrong crip. But
well, I don't think it was Orlando personally that killed him, but I think most definitely Orlando made it happen. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I feel it was one of them in that car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one of the Crips in that car.
But okay,
like people even tell me that they think Biggie was in L.A. and there's so many conspiracy theories on who even killed Pac, let alone Pac being alive.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been with the common sense one. You know what I mean? Like, just coming from a huge Pac fan. Like, I mean, like I'm a huge Pac fan. Like, it's ridiculous. If y'all saw my place, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, are you a fan or are you obsessed? But it's like I want him to be alive, man. I would love to shake that man's hand. I would fucking love to shake that man's hand and be like, look, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even care if he changes looks to a fucking woman. I wouldn't even care to shake the fucking person's hand that made that music. But I feel that, you know what I mean? Just deep down, I don't know why. I refuse to let myself believe it. I feel that by listening to his music and how the type of person he was when he was Tupac Amaru Shakur, I feel that, you know, I think he made also the MAKAVELI the Dawn album with the whole MAKAVELI thing. I feel also when he made that album, he made it so this stuff would happen. Because he always wanted his legacy to live on even after he died. That's why he made so many albums. Well, yeah. I feel the MAKAVELI the Dawn is what he did for this. I feel he's like, you know, I'm going to make these people think I'm still alive. You know, like when he said, expect me, and like Jesus, I'm coming back. Expect me, I'm coming. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that is what causes the conspiracy. That's what I believe. I think it was albums like that that made the conspiracies happen. So they can be like, guess what? When you all, 30 years from now, when you all are like, you know, blah, 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 guess what? I'm still in the tabloids, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. And
you can't shut me up.
And if that's the reason he did it, it is working. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. Hey,
it's so hard, though, because Pac was such a complex individual, so I physically feel that it could be anything.
Yeah. Oh, and just to ask you a question. I mean, if you believe he's passed away, why do you think they haven't solved it? And why do you think you know, because Keefy D, which, you know, he's saying he was in the car and stuff like that. He admitted he was in there, so he's an accessory to murder. Why do you think he's not in prison, in your opinion?
Truthfully, they don't care, unfortunately. It pains me to say it. I don't think they give a shit. You know what I mean? For instance, look at Biggie Smalls.
Of a murder?
He got shot. Well, I'm just saying, he got shot. I don't mean to bring up Biggie during a Pac question, but for instance, Biggie's murder isn't solved. People know he's dead. He got shot right in the freaking head, or what? I don't know the whole story of Biggie. I'm not a Biggie fan.
Well, yeah, but nobody has came out admitting to the Biggie murder either, though. So you can't really compare them two like that.
Like I said, I really don't think they care. Because I don't think he's admitted that he's been a part of it.
That's accessory.
He was in the car, right?
Yeah, accessory to murder, which is the same as a murderer.
He's also dying of cancer, so he really doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like
allegedly. You know,
I'm going to be truthful, man. I really don't know. I think the reason why they didn't solve it is I think because they don't care. You know what I mean? For instance, Nipsey Hussle, man, God bless his soul. You know, he passed away. God bless Nipsey's soul, but you know what I mean? He got killed. Killer found in a minute.
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're 100% right. They solved it like, I think the same day, right?
I'm going to be truthful. I really don't know, man, because I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. I just feel that it was 96 with all the whole rap war going on, the East Coast West, cops not giving a crap about minorities. I just feel they just didn't give a shit. They're like, excuse my language, but there's one less 10 dead. That's how the cops were back in the day, man. Like,
oh, I mean, well, they
unfortunately,
still are.
that's how the police were, right?
They still are right now.
I really just don't know how to answer that, truthfully, because I just feel they just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, well, the cops, they still are kind of like that right now. I mean, you said it yourself, right, that the Changes song is still relevant to the day because the police is still like
the one thing that I did hear about, though, when it came to the Vegas PD, was that from what I heard, I don't know if this is entirely true, but around when Pac died or got killed in Vegas, they wanted to turn they were slowly turning Vegas into like a family tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And mind you, having a celebrity die, going to want to have people come to their city. That's what I heard, but when Pac got shot, I was 2. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just hear all this stuff because of research.
Oh, you were 2 years old. So when were you born?
1994.
Oh, damn, man, you a youngster, brother. So
whenever Thug Life Volume 1 was sliding in stores, I was sliding out of my mama.
It's all good, though. Shit. Hey, man, right now you can learn anything on the computer, man. Anything, you can learn all that stuff. You know, I mean, there's not much.
It's weird though. When I learned all about Pac, it was books. When I first started listening to Pac, the internet wasn't huge. Like, it was a thing. Like when I started going on the internet when I was a kid, it was like MySpace era. So I remember all that. It's just they didn't really have a lot of variety on the internet. You know, it wasn't like it is today.
Oh, yeah.
So I mainly read books. I had like hip hop history books, and I remember after hearing his music, I didn't find out Pac really died because I lived in a group home. Like, I was a very sheltered kid. Yeah. So, like, I had music, but to go to a library and actually do research, I didn't know Pac died until after about a month and a half of me listening to his music. And I was like, yo, I want to hear more new music. Like, this shit's fucking the bomb. Like, yo, this guy is fucking so inspirational. I want to hear more. And then I found out he died, and I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
That's when I was like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, wait, what? Like, you're telling me there's no more Tupac coming out? Like, but this was like 2005, so I think this was right either before or right as Pac's life was sliding out into stores.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think 2005. Yeah, I think that's when it came out. For sure. Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
man, I still remember where I was at when I heard that he passed away. It's so crazy, you know. He was so huge, man. I remember when he came out, when he got out of prison, man, we all knew immediately, bro. And I mean, like, you know, there was no computers or no. I mean, well, there was computers, but we didn't have one, man. We broke. So we just found out by word of mouth, magazines, somebody's friend that knew somebody's friend that had a computer, saw it on TV or whatever. That's how we found out that he got out of prison. And when he came out with All Eyes on Me, man, all you can hear in the car is bumping all through Compton, Southgate, all that stuff, man, was track 1 from CD number 1, which was Ambitious as a Writer. But dun, 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 you know, by Daz Dillinger, because I think he produced that song, right?
He produced, I believe he produced the beat. I want to say the song as well, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. But you know, I still remember where I was at when he passed. I remember I was sitting outside under the tree, and I was sitting on my friend's skateboard on the curve, man, and his brother came out talking to his friend, which were older than us, and he told his friend, and I heard, and I was like, what? He got shot and died? I didn't even hear that he had gotten shot. I heard he died. That's how I found out. You know what I'm saying? That he had passed away. And I was just like, wow.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was just big, man. You know, it's just huge, man, because everybody loved him. You know, he was putting LA on the map. He was so charismatic, man. He was just like a superhero, dude. You know, like rappers back then to me, like Tupac to me was a superhero. You know, it wasn't like rap today, how, you know, they're just rappers or whatever. I mean, back then rappers were like superheroes. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard he passed away,
they did a lot of people like Pac. People don't also forget about this. People think Tupac was such a monster, but he did a lot for his community, man. Like, he would walk off set of his movie he was filming, give a homeless mother like a stack of cash, no questions asked, walk away. He would do a lot of stuff for his people, man. Like,
yeah.
Like, for instance, I don't know if you heard about this one, but I know this happened. It was I forget the name of the boy, but a boy was dying of cancer, and his last wish was to meet a couple celebrities, and every other celebrity he named did not show up or didn't even reply back. Pac literally jumped on a plane and went and visited this kid before he died, and actually was at his bedside. And then after he left, he got a call saying the little boy passed away. Pac went out of his way, got on a plane, and flew just to be by up into a little kid's bedside, man. Like, that's fucking deep.
Oh, yeah.
Like, out of tours, his court cases he was dealing with, everything else, he dropped everything and jumped on a plane to go be with a kid, man. That type of shit, you don't get that anymore. Like, not a lot of celebrities would do something like that for anybody, especially for free. They'd be like, they call up Make-A-Wish and be like, how much you paying me? Right. You know what I mean? But just randomly get a phone call and be like, yeah, okay, I'll be there. Like, give me about a couple hours, I'll get on the next flight. Like, man, that's pure, man.
For real, man. That's crazy, dude. And do you know who Frank Alexander is?
Frank Alexander, Tupac's bodyguard?
Yeah,
of course,
him.
Man. God bless his soul.
Yeah, him. Rest in peace, Big Frank. Well, he told the story. I forgot what documentary it was, but I know it was in his book, Got Your Back, where he said, and it's actually on video. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. I've seen it 100 times on YouTube, where his cousin that was in a wheelchair, she's actually in one of Tupac's songs. I think it's called Reincarnated. She's at the end. Where she was supposed to meet Janet Jackson, right? Because she was in a wheelchair. She was supposed to meet Janet Jackson. But Janet Jackson called her mom, I believe, that was dealing with all that, and told her that, you know what, I can't really do it. If I meet you, you're going to have to fly out here on your own dime to New York, because they were in L.A. You have to fly all the way out here to New York on your own dime. And I could only see you for about half an hour, you know. So Frank told Tupac that. And Tupac goes, you know what? F Janet Jackson. Forget that. Bring her over here. She can kick it with me all day. And I'll even put her on one of my tracks. And she can kick it in the studio with me, too. That's just, I mean, it's just like you said right now, just the kind of person that Tupac was.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to read his book, unfortunately. I've heard about it, but I've never gotten the time to read it. I'm not really huge on reading books. I have a very short attention span. Just the fact of sitting there with a book, like, I got like stacks of Tupac books as well, you know. Like, I got his legacy book where it has, it actually has like obviously it's not the real first copy, but like, you know, the movie Gridlock he did. I actually have like a couple pages of the script in that book. It has Tupac's inmate card. It has his grocery list, for fuck's sakes, my word. One of his grocery lists is photocopied and it looks authentic, like it's a real line piece of paper, and at the bottom on his grocery list says a carton of Newports on it, and it's like, yeah, it's like fucking right. Like, it's that's how much of a fan I am. I'll find random, and I paid $100 for that at a pawn shop. I know that guy ripped me off.
Oh yeah.
You know, I know he did, but I don't even care. Truthfully, I know he ripped me off. It was an Ottawa pawn shop. So anybody listening knows Ottawa's a very big city. When I saw the book, I was like, oh my God, like I want that book. How much? And he's like, Matt, what are you?